Hello and good time zone to you. Welcome to a veiled tete-a-tete. I am your host or co-host, Lily, here with my other my co-host, Eric.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, it's 2025, guys, and I cannot get shit straight. Uh, it is already been a year, and we're 10 days in. You can hear my dog Solstice in the background because she is a lovable bunch of fun and she likes to stick right next to me and she is noisy. Uh but today though,
Yes.
it's beautiful and
Mm-hmm.
cold
Yes.
and white outside
Yes.
cuz we got snow.
Yes. Kind of a rarity in this part of the country,
Yes.
especially in these quantities. I do think we have gotten nearly a foot accumulation of snow.
Yeah. And it's still snowing.
It is still snowing. According to the last forecast I looked at, we're supposed to get another couple hours of this.
Oh damn. Nice. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm totally in my element cuz my friend told me that because of how I resonate with snow and ice and winter and stuff, that I could totally call myself a winter witch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Freaking Yadviga.
yeah, I'm Yadviga, but I'm not an evil Yadviga.
Sure, that's what they all say.
I'm not an evil Yadviga, just like I'm not an evil necromancer.
Uh-huh. And I suppose that leads us.
We gotta ask a question first.
You're right. That almost led us into the thing. She's edging, man. She is edging us.
I'm edging.
In any
Everybody
case,
loves
our
edging, right?
question for this week, our little icebreaker. What's your food crush? You got a food crush right now? Like a food you're just crushing on? Like it's an obsession. It's
the thing that you want.
yeah.
I don't know what it is like this exact moment because I'm on food appetite suppressants. But I do know that I was dying last night for pickles and chocolate.
Yeah.
I ate -2 pickles, an entire jar of pickles, and 4 bars of chocolate.
They were small bars.
Yeah, they were small bars. They're like they had 6 pieces, 6 little squares on them.
Yeah.
So they're not like, the big giant Hershey bars, but they were small bars. But yeah, I ate all but 2 pickles and 4 little bars of chocolate because I had been craving chocolate and pickles for days. Like I had been searching. I had been eating lots of random things and like just trying to find. I need something and I don't know what it is. I need something and I don't know what it is. I need something and I don't know what. And I couldn't figure it out. And then I bought some pickles yesterday, and I bought some chocolate. And then I was sitting there and I was going, "Ooh, I want some pickles. Ooh, I want some." I remember that I like pickles and chocolate. And I tasted it. And I'm like, "That's it. That's what I've been craving." Shove it all in my mouth.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that is a thing. Literal like food flavor pairing that you've always liked is pickles and chocolate.
Yes, I used to take pickles and like take chocolate syrup, and I would get like the whole pickles, the big giant jars with whole pickles in it, and I would like bite off the top of the pickle, and like I'm weird, so I like taking my teeth and scooping down into it to make a concave, and then taking chocolate syrup and filling up that concave with it, and then just taking a bite.
So weird. Yeah, well, then again, kind of similarly, I like really chocolatey milk, a really good pickle, and then like some sort of like jerky or jerky adjacent thing, like jerky or like Slim Jims or some other sort of meat stick. Those three things together, where you got the real sweet and chocolatey, and you got the tartness and salt of the pickle, and then you got the salt and meaty savory of the meat snack. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. And just to let everybody know, I'm not pregnant. I'm just on my period.
Yeah.
That may be TMI for some, but this is the episode. This is the podcast. There is TMI. There is trauma. There is nothing out of. I'm sure at some point in time we'll talk about shitting. So like, there's nothing out of our realm of what we're going to talk about.
But for me, my thing has been canned fish. So recently, because of however the algorithm works, I was introduced to a YouTube channel called Canned Fish Files with Matthew Carlson. Just a guy who reviews canned fish, which canned fish is a thing that I've liked for a while, and I get a can every once in a while in various forms, not just your average canned tuna, which I'm a little picky on. Your regular cheap cans, I kind of don't like it, but your better ones, and then like kipper snacks and sardines and whatnot. Oddly enough, for some reason, I've never had anchovies. So, watching this channel as he's been eating all sorts of different canned fish and whatnot, I decided I wanted some canned fish. So while we were shopping, I bought more canned fish than I have ever bought in a single session.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you did, didn't you? Because you bought it at two places.
Yes, because we went to Walmart to buy a few things, some general goods and some other things that we can't get in a lot of places elsewhere where we are. And then we went to Aldi just because Aldi is amazing. Honestly, I don't know if it's this way everywhere else where there is Aldi, but if you're pinching pennies and you got an Aldi around you, shop at Aldi. That's what I got to say about it.
Yeah, Aldi is amazing. I love it. It's like Trader Joe's, but cheaper.
Yeah, sort of. But so, yeah, I got some kippers and smoked salmon and sardines from Walmart. Some sardines and mustard sauce. Num num num. And then, and I got it there because I hadn't paid that much attention. I didn't know what they had at Aldi. Our Aldi's relatively new. And but when we got there, we saw that they did indeed have canned fish. So I ended up buying 3 different cans of sardines at Aldi as well. So, yeah. And I ended up eating 2 cans of fish for 2 different, one was part of a meal with salad, and then the other one was a snack later on.
Oh, shit. Sorry, I dropped my phone.
Knocking shit over.
Yeah, I'm just breaking shit. Yeah, no, I don't like canned fish. I'm good.
You can barely like any fish at all.
Yeah, I like crab, and that's like fresh crab. I'm not a fan of imitation crab. Shrimp, if it's, not just raw shrimp. I like some whitefish.
Mm-hmm. Mostly fried.
Fried. And like fried catfish.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. Oh, yeah. And lobster. I like lobster.
Mm-hmm. I think you could ease into some other things.
Maybe. I just, that fishy sea flavor, it makes me gag.
That's fair.
But
yeah, that being said, now we can schmooze on over to
An island.
an island indeed, the Isle of Kortos. As this week we are summarizing what has happened in sessions 2 and 3 of our run through Abomination Vaults. Or rather, the one that we are talking about. We've got others, but this is the one
Dear God, we
that's
have too
new.
many others.
It's the new hotness, as they say.
Yes, the new hotness.
So, last we had left off, last we left our heroes, the three of them, Zorik. Sorry. In any case, Zorik Bloodmaw, the Colo barbarian with strange bits of electrical powers to him. The elven bard known as Felt, and I will.
Half elven.
Was he half elven?
Pretty sure he was Iavarin.
He is. He is Iavarin. You are correct in that. Bad GM. In any case,
I was gonna say I'm the elf.
The half elven Iavarin bard known as Felt, whose full name I continue to and will always struggle to say. And then our necromancer, elven necromancer, Dompier, Alessandra. Last we had left the three of them. They had come together over prospects of a job investigating what had happened in the basement of the fishery of the small seaside town that they are in, Otari. So they had gone down, found an incursion of rats, found that these rats had come from a much larger cave complex, and had eventually come upon some kobolds. And towards the end of that session, had come upon a shrine of sorts with statues, especially one behind an altar that had, as they entered, levied sort of a challenge at them. In my hands, I judge the value of all wealth, raising up whichever is greater. One of these coins is a deception. Find it using only 2 judgments and receive my blessing. And that is where we picked up session 2. Coming back to this puzzle. I always find it a little challenging, especially as a player, which I'm not. I am running this. But I have been a player in this multiple times, running into a puzzle that I already know the solution for. And this is something that I think about because this being the adventure that is in the Pathfinder 2e beginner box, I have run through this 2 or 3 or possibly 4 times now.
And same for me.
Yes. So my solution to that, which it seemed like yours was the same, is don't help unless it seems like it's necessary. Let the other people talk more and think more about it.
Yeah, that's what I did. I was just like, she just kind of leaned against the wall and was just like, she was puzzling. I reason it within the system or within the world, the setting, that she was leaning back, puzzling it herself while they were talking it out.
Yeah, fair enough. So the setup of this,
and then figuring it out and waiting for them to figure it out.
Yeah, so
she's smart.
The setup of this particular puzzle, there's this altar, there's a statue with its hands held out flat, and on this altar are 9 gold coins. the players are tasked to find which one of those 9 coins are a fake. They can take the coins and put them in the statue's hands, and they will act like a merchant's weight balance, with it balancing out based not on the weight, but on the value of the coins that are in its hand, with the fake being worthless. And I think it was, honestly, of all the ones, I think that this group got it kind of the fastest.
Mm-hmm.
They cottoned on to it really rather quickly, especially with Zorik, I believe it was, that figured out to divide the coins evenly into 3 sets of 3, weighing 2 sets, and that would let you know which set of 3 had the false coin in it. And then from there, finding which coin in that set of 3, because you get 2 quote unquote judgments to figure out. But they were able to do so, and it opened up a secret room that had some loot, some coin, an emerald. This is some of the first actual monetary loot that this party has gotten. And it also had a spell scroll, which wasn't identified till later, but it was a scroll of Force Barrage, which more or less, for those who are familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, this is Magic Missile. It is legally distinct Pathfinder Remastered Magic Missile. But also, this room contained a couple of advantages for the players other than the loot. 1, it had peepholes into the next room that allowed them to see that the next room had some kobolds in it, some more kobolds. And they could also see that there was a switch in their room. Upon some investigation, turning it on, they realized that it would activate a spear launching trap in the next room. So turning it on, they went, started combat, made a distraction by standing in the door, and the kobolds stepped in, and, well, 2 of the 3 of them died almost immediately because of the spear trap. But there was one left that was a trap master. A bit more combat, and then it fled down a set of stairs. This initiated a chase downstairs where the party ran into a couple more reinforcements that were ready for them behind cover, some barrels and tables and whatnot. A bit more of a shootout and whatnot. That seemed like a slightly challenging fight for the 3 of you. Mind you, this is a party of 3 first-level adventurers. I think that the 3 of you handled it rather well.
Yeah, I think we did too.
And, man, having Zorik, guys, yes, barbarians in basically anything of this sort, they are big hitters, they're big old meat sponges that swing big stick. But you guys, the contrast between characters in damage output, just consistent damage output of a first level barbarian who is carrying a big weapon that rolls well pretty consistently, which Zorik has rolled pretty well on his attack and damage rolls pretty consistently. Actually, because I do have the game open, just look, yeah, his average is actually 11.84 on D20 rolls, which for data freaks, it's not super high, but that's actually kind of high. And his damage die with his Gisarm is a D10, and his average is 5.6. So he's rolling just ever so slightly above average, with 5 being his most common roll. So he's just about average there, but yeah. Has rolled quite a few 20s as well. 3? It's a decent amount. But in any case, so they end up mopping up these kobolds. And then we're back to exploration. There's another barricade, this time of barrels, barricading some sort of break in the wall, and a open archway. Well, we haven't been in the business of going through barricades just quite yet. So they decide to go through the archway, and there's a fountain in there of this large fountain with a mermaid in the middle. But being careful as they have, and knowing now that there are kobolds, tricksy ones, especially this kobold trapper that they just recently dispatched, they decide to look in. And it's good they do, because this mermaid statue is a trap.
I believe Alessandra recognized that.
That is correct. Alessandra did recognize it, and very good for the party, because, man, this is kind of a nasty trap for first level adventurers. So more or less what happens is that there are pressure plates on all the squares adjacent to this fountain. And if you step on any one of them, it activates the statue, at which point in time it starts shooting just laser beams of water. And for anybody who has ever watched a video on YouTube of a hydraulic cutter, you know just how devastatingly effective such a thing can be. So how this thing works, you roll a die, it figures out exactly how it's going to attack, because it doesn't necessarily target. What it does is that it randomly targets either a single target, or it shoots in each corner, or half of the room, or the full room. But whenever it does 2d6 bludgeoning damage. So you're talking an average of about 13 points of damage. At first level, that's kind of a lot of damage. That just about outright puts most of the party into dying with one hit.
Yeah.
So it's pretty nasty. But this is kind of the feeling of Pathfinder 2nd Edition at low levels. It's pretty gritty. It can be kind of hardcore, right? But creeping up further, they find the Kobold Den, the Warren, as it's known. And they come upon many more kobolds. And after some fighting and getting hit pretty hard, Zorik decides, you know what? We should probably retreat for now. So they close the door, retreat, and barricade the archway into the fountain room, taking refuge in the lookout where they had first come down upon this floor. And that's where we ended that session. We have since had yet another session. We are talking about 2 sessions this time. So with that one, they spend a little bit of time attempting to mend their wounds. Some unfortunate rolls, as Alessandra is not able to mend Zorik's wounds this time. A judicious use of a hero point kept it from dealing damage on a critically failed medicine check. But the party decides that, well, we don't want to sit down here another hour. We will go up, we will rest, and re-equip, because this is more than we were originally bargaining for. So you go up. They talk to Tamley Tandervale, the proprietor of the fishery, and they avail her of what they've seen: the caves and ruins, giant rats, giant spiders, kobolds, and traps and whatnot. And she agrees. She's dumbfounded that all of this is underneath their town and underneath her fishery. So she goes ahead and she pays the 5 gold bounty, as they've done what was the original scope. But she asks for an additional reward if they will clear out the rest of the dungeon and make sure it is safe. So they agree, and she reveals that the reward for doing such a thing is an old fish camp that she has 6 miles outside of town. So they go to rest up. They go to the Dawnflower Library, which is the largest temple in town. It's a temple dedicated to Sarenrae, the goddess of light and the sun and goodness and redemption. And if you're familiar with Critical Role, this is the goddess that is, / now, for legally distinct reasons, is the basis of, what do they call her? They don't call her the Dawnflower in Critical Role. But
I'll tell you who.
Like the Lightbringer or something like that. But in any case, our favorite little paladin, Pike Trickfoot, the Everlight.
The Everlight, yes.
Yes. But Pike Trickfoot, this is as they, before stream started on Pathfinder First Edition, this is that deity.
Yeah, she's a war domain now. She originally was a life domain under Sarenrae.
Yeah. So they go in, and this temple is mixed use. There's quite a bit for your normal temple duties, all sorts of shrines, mostly, of course, to Sarenrae. This is a temple to Sarenrae. But acolytes of various faiths work here, especially in the library section. But as they go in, they are met by the head priestess, Vandy Banderdash, a halfling, chatty, chipper, rather kind. And for a small donation, she uses some healing magic on Zorik. And while Alessandra at that point in time wants to research in the library, you decided that I'll come back later, as everybody else was wanting to go and sell off their loot.
Yes. I will come back later for that.
Yes. So they go on. They go to the smithy in town, Blades for Glades, owned by city outcast, ne'er-do-well, disappointment, Carmen Rajani, and his daughter Amicia Rajani, up and coming blacksmith who kind of really admires their ancestor, Vol Rajani, the old hero and, in a way, namesake of the old heroes of Otari, the founders of Otari, the Rose Guard. But in any case, they sell off their loot, they get coin, they re-equip with Felt finally getting an adventurer's pack, as he only previously started with his battle loot, and that's about it. Gotta give props to a bard who's willing to spend his entire 15 silver pieces on an instrument. No armor, no supplies, just battle loot.
Just battle loot. Yeah, that him when he told me that all he got was that, he had nothing else, I'm like, really?
Right?
Really? Mouth wide open? Are you agape? No, what? I'm sorry. That is the first thing you buy.
Yeah.
But no. But apparently it has special reasons. So.
In fact, if you go for the one of the class kits, an adventurer's pack is included for all the rest of your adventuring gear. But in any case, some things were procured. They then went over to Zorik's friend's shop, Rin Savinci and Rin's Wonders, the strange curio shop that has been in town for a couple of years now, but she tends to travel around, which is why she has so many things. She wanders around, collects things, and then when her collection is too large to continue to transport, she stops, sets up shop, and she has set up shop in Otari and has struck up a friendship with Zorik. And Zorik and the crew are there to procure some healing items, potions, and elixirs of healing and life, respectively. Well, at least 2 of them are. As Alessandra, being a Dompier with void healing, really, really does not want to drink a potion of healing.
Oh.
So that being said, she asks and pulls Ren off to the side to quietly and privately ask if she happens to stock oil of unlife. Ren, first, Zorik, curious about what she could possibly be asking for on the down low, um, decides to eavesdrop. He successfully rolls precisely the stealth DC on his perception to listen in, but rolls a natural one on the deception to be nonchalant about it. So he stares in rapt attention, hearing Alessandra mention oil of unlife, much to her chagrin.
She does notice him and gives him a very heavy glare.
To which he gives a hyena laugh.
Hyenas, man. Getting up all in my business.
Right? So, that being said, Rin notifies her that she does happen to have a oil of unlife, but they aren't necessarily the easiest to get in contact with. She can procure them. She currently has one, and she could get more. However, given Alessandra's disposition, which she seems to know, alchemical elixirs are safe to consume. So she also suggests that elixirs of life for healing effects. Elixirs are gotten. From there, the party splits up a little bit in town, with Alessandra going back to the Dawnflower Library, and Felt and Zorik to spend the afternoon, excuse me, and evening at Crow's Casks, the tavern, owned by Magaloy, the Tengu alchemist who makes all sorts of experimental brews. And when they get there, she does have her favorites that she finds boring. Pumpkin rum and like raspberry ale or something. But she has what she calls a ginger storm stout. And they both decide to try it. And yeah, it's both very harshly ginger and with a little bit of something electrical going in on it, as both Felt and Zorik have to make fortitude saves. A rather good roll means Felt gets it down, feeling tingling and the burn of ginger, whereas a rather poor roll pours, alas, for Zorik. He gets choked up by the burning ginger, and the choking up releases the electrical energy in it, and it gets a large static zap in his throat, causing him to spew the stout back up. But with that, Filt decides to spend the rest of the afternoon and evening telling their story and performing, earning a bit of income, a few silvers. And that's more or less what they do for the rest of the day. Meanwhile, Alessandra goes back to the library and a small bit of conversation, but more or less goes in to try to research necromantic topics and the cycle of void and vitality. Unfortunately, it being what it is, and Sarenrae's anathema against undead topics, she's not able to find a whole lot. But she does happen to run across their section of mostly tasteful erotica, which she proceeds to go and read at a public table.
Yes. She goes and like finds a I'm sure they have some sort of sitting area or something to read.
Yes,
He
of
just kind
course.
of plops down and sits back and starts reading a nice smutty romance novel.
Hmm.
And yeah, she's just like does not care.
But yeah, and so that day winds down. Everybody goes back to the rooms eventually. Zork going back out of town. Felt going back to his room in Crow's Cask. And Alessandra going back to Crook's Nook. The next day, everybody reassembles at the fishery and is ready to go downstairs once again into the breach. This time, as they're going through, they come back across this barricade on the first floor, just after the spider room that they had disassembled, seeing that there was something behind it, and then reassembled. As they disassemble it and move in, they notice that it leads to a crypt that is old, ancient, even rotting wooden coffins, blue crystal wreathed in blue flames lighting the area, with raised on a dais a stone sarcophagus. Slowly begin to creep in the room. Zorik's sensitive nose is filled with the smell of old death and decay. Just a hint, something a bit more new and fresh, some black decay. It's just about that time, and just about as Felt goes to detect magic and detects, ah yes, well there is magic up ahead, that the coffins begin to split open with a crew of 4 skeletons and a zombie coming out. And with some relatively dexterous use of a Gisarm and some undead thralls, which seemed to be particularly useful. They mopped up. You guys actually mopped this encounter up much quicker and easier than the last game we played that went through here.
I think we mopped this up easier than any game that we went through, honestly.
Honestly, yes. This is actually a relatively difficult fight.
Yes.
Even if you're running 4 people, you're still outnumbered 4 to 5. And yeah, being outnumbered at first level is not easy. Also, all these creatures, let me double check. Oh, they're all level -1. But even still, being outnumbered is always difficult. And yeah, the 2 of you, 3, but Felt didn't do a whole lot. Well, I say didn't do a whole lot offensively, but did use a cantrip. What was it? Was it Haunting Him? Yeah. And rolled particularly well on the damage, and one of them rolled very poorly on their save, and blew apart 2 of the skeletons in one blow. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I honestly don't remember what Alessandra did other than summoning
Thralls?
thralls.
Most of what you did.
Because she would attack with a thrall and then like it would do damage or kill them.
Yeah.
I think she killed one with just summoning a thrall.
2 of them, actually, I believe.
Oh, she did kill both of them?
Yeah, I believe.
I didn't remember.
But yeah. Pretty good fight. But as they sort of take in the uneasy feeling of this room, or at least uneasy to 2 of them. However, to Alessandra, the strange aura this place has is calm cool, and soothing. And that's about where we wrapped up there. Yeah, this.
Well,
Hmm?
there was one thing that got missed in this little.
What's that?
While we were at the Dawnflower Library the first time,
Yes.
Felt asked Vandy if she knew anything about a music box that he had.
Yes.
It was a well-made music box, but it had ruins. It had runes made to look blurry on it. Alessandra made kind of a society check on it.
Mm-hmm. A crafting check and then a society check to see if you could
check and then
identify it and its components.
And she saw designs of Kellish and Kandiran make, as well as wood from a tree from the Mwangi. Parts of it seemed like proper old Taldane. And then even there were hints of Aslanti, which is old society.
It is.
And as soon as Alessandra went to ask about it, Phelps was like, "Oh, it's nothing, never mind," and put it away and walked away.
Yeah, he's a little weird about it.
He's very cagey about it.
He's usually very open and magnanimous and showy.
Yeah. He's usually like, "Oh, here, look at this. Look at me. Hello." And then she's like, "Oh, what is that?" And he's like, "Oh, it's nothing. Go away."
Right? What is this?
Oh, it must be something then. But yeah. And it was a fun session. I can't wait till next session.
Yeah, same.
It's gonna be a lot better. And I'm starting to learn Alessandra, because for me, when I create characters, like, I don't just like create the entire character. I'm like, I know everything about this character and all their wants and desires and plans and goals and stuff. I just kind of go, a lot of it is making it mechanically first. And then I go, okay, so how does this fit? How do I want to work this? What do I want to do with this?
What is a person that does these things, that is going to learn to do these things? What sort of person is this?
Yeah. And I, being me and who I am, I have the literal hardest time, probably verging on impossible, to be evil.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I want to play a necromancer, but also I don't want to be evil. So how can I make a necromancer not evil? And so we've been talking about this, throwing this back and forth, and we've been trying to figure out, like, her thought processes on it. And a lot of it, Eric came up with a really good, like idea and focus, was that it wasn't on, like, stealing souls and stuff like that. It was, and making mindless thralls that are going to be your servants and stuff like that. There's the literal flow of life, and the forge of creation and void, and so like, you have, it goes, creation creates things, whatever, it dies, then it goes into its respective realms, and then eventually it gets destroyed in that realm for one reason or another, and then the energy just kind of flows back into the void, and the void is kind of the fuel for the forge of creation. And so I was like, okay, I really like that idea. I really like that. And basically what I canonize what she does is she manipulates those void and vitality lines, and she doesn't steal from them. She borrows from them. She like pulls a little bit of essence to create her thrall, and then the thralls don't last very long. They're not meant to be permanent. They do what they needed to do, and then they poof, go back to the void.
Yeah.
And so it's not a stealing and taking away from the cycle of life. It's just figuring out how to manipulate and use it without destroying it, disturbing it.
Yeah, it's a small, tiny diversion, just pulling little shards and drops of this energy that's in this cycle. This constant cycle between vitality and void along the river of souls.
Yeah. And so, but she's interested in, because of that, I give her the because she's very intelligent. Necromancers are intelligence based. And so she loves reading. She just loves reading and knowledge. But her goal is to learn about void and vitality and how the river of souls works, and how the cycle of life and death and rebirth and how all that works.
Yes.
Which kind of, it's funny because she is an enemy of the Phrasmans, but she would very much like to be it would almost be like I don't know how to explain it. Maybe it's like that one guy in Karamaga that was a Phrasman and then got converted into bad things. But he was like a heretic because he had different ideas of how Phrasma and...
Yeah.
So like I could imagine her being kind of a Phrasman in a way of respecting the cycle of life and death and stuff, but not seeing what she does as breaking the cycle.
Yeah.
But as using it to help to do things, but not stealing from it, and not like I said, breaking the cycle.
Yeah.
They still go right back.
She's less breaking the cycle than she is like a hacker, right?
Yeah.
She sort of hacks in to the system, so to speak, and uses that energy for little small side processes that in the grand scheme of things are tiny.
Yeah. So that's an interesting thought. I could imagine her being somewhat maybe not Phrasman necessarily. You don't have to be Phrasman to respect the cycle.
Yeah.
But
I could see like a grudging respect.
Yeah.
Towards Phrasma in the cycle, because Phrasma kind of is the cycle.
Yeah.
Life, birth, and death. But maybe being less charitable towards like the psychopomps, who like doggedly and dogmatically ensure that it goes as it's supposed to.
Nothing there's no step out of line.
Yeah. Precisely.
And she's kind of going, yeah, no, let me just make a divot here or a cul-de-sac or something.
Yeah, and well, as the three of you go further and further along, you will learn more and more about an entity that is much, much, much more transgressive upon this cycle.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
I can't wait to learn more about it. Is it the deity that is the main deity in this?
I think yes.
Yeah. I'll have to read more about that deity then, because I don't remember their domains. And so I'll have to read more, or I can just not and let you explain it to me for my character. I can do that too. I'm running the game as well, so I do need to know this stuff,
Mhm.
but maybe not figure out, maybe try to not let my brain wonder and how that could be,
Yeah,
how that could
let
work
it
with
come
my
as it
character.
may.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited to learn who this character is, and because I learn as I go. The encounters that I have and the moods that I'm in and all this inform who my character becomes.
Yeah, and it is a journey to be sure.
Yep. But I think that about wraps up our session. We're at about 55 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
So yay 2025.
2025.
Whoa.
Is there a more for those of us who are old and millennials and whatnot? Is there a more futuristic sounding date than the year 2025?
Yeah, no. We are living in the future, honey.
Where the fuck is RoboCop? Where's my flying cars? Where the fuck is Blade Runner?
Right? Where's the hoverboards?
Right?
Like shit.
Whatever.
Yeah. We had a wild imagination and we haven't figured out how to get there yet. We've got auto cars that run into people and kill people.
We got shiny stainless steel dumpsters that catch themselves on fire.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in another episode.
Yeah. But in any case, for now, we hope you guys have a good one. Have had a happy new year, happy holidays, and we will catch you next time.
Yeah, don't forget to love each other and don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment if you have any topics that you would like us to approach or anything. Just leave us a comment, hit us up on our social media. I've got Facebook, I've got Twitter that I don't maintain it very much. Blue Sky, whatever. It's Veiled Esoteric Projects, as that is the company that this is under. But yeah, I'll leave it all in the doobly doo, and yeah, leave us comments, like, subscribe, share us to your friends.
Yes,
all that
please.
good stuff. We'll see you later. Have a great whole week, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.